Today we're going to be talking about Sword of Convalleria. Now this game just came out a couple of days ago. I didn't start on release, I started a couple of days after the release. And I just want to talk about this game, even though I'm not sponsored by the company or anything like that, just because it's very fun, it kind of fits its own niche. And even though there are some flaws that the devs are aware of, I think this game is pretty fun if you're looking for a good game to just grind and have a great time playing. So I'm just going to talk about the combat right away. So if we actually just go to the story mode here, I'll just show you guys a random stage. You'll notice that the combat is very similar to something like Fire Emblem or even Final Fantasy Tactics. And the reason why I say that is because it's not like an open world RPG or anything like that. You're going to see that it is like this turn-based, like what I said, Final Fantasy Tactics style, where you can deploy the units that you actually pull with the Gacha system and put them into the game. And you're going to see if I start the battle here, you can actually control the units or you can actually auto. And you'll see this is just the passive ability that I do at the beginning. And you can either play the game through auto mode by clicking this A/M at the top left here, or I can move around and do whatever. So if I actually press A/M, you'll see that my character, that's something we'll talk about right now, actually. Yeah, the AI in this game can be pretty wonky, which is pretty annoying. If we just talk about that even more, another thing that's weird about the combat in this game is that you can't actually choose a direction that you want to end your turn. And that's pretty problematic because you take more damage when getting hit from behind, you can't block, and it's pretty annoying. But besides from that, and the weird AI at times, this game's pretty fun. You can see the combat is pretty amazing. The animations for this type of game is pretty crazy as well. You can see this is like a huge lance, ton of AoE damage and stuff like that. And the combat can be pretty fun at times. And every single stage will have different objectives that you want to do. If you want to win, you have to kill all the enemies here. If you lose all your allies, you lose. If you also make the battle last more than 8 rounds, you lose. And you're going to see that a lot of characters are unique here. So this character I'm about to show you, right, I can attack like this. And then you'll see I can move again after, which is unique to him and some other characters that you can play. But you're going to see, ideally in this situation, what I want to do if I want to retreat to here is turn around, right? I kind of want to turn this guy around so I don't get hit from the back by this enemy, but I can't. So, kind of a weird thing about the combat, but the combat overall is pretty fun. And you will need to adapt your team comp and your skill selection based on if you're playing it through auto or not, because the AI responds better to some skills. But overall, the combat is pretty fun. And of course, the characters are amazing as well. We have legendary characters, we have epic characters, and then we have the commons and uncommons and stuff like that. The one thing I don't like is that the lower tier characters, the brown and the silver ones, they just have very standard generic names like Outlaw, Archer, Knighted Guard. Once you get to the gold, which is epic, or the legendary, which is this pinkish color, pink blue cotton candy color, you start to get real names. But yeah, the characters are pretty cool. The designs for the characters are amazing. The pixels are great as well. You'll also be able to unlock some skins, which I have, which will change their pixel as well as their artwork. This is the skin artwork. This is the original. You can see that there is a pretty huge difference, and it looks very nice. Honestly, both of them look pretty nice. But the system in this game is pretty simple, right? You have 3 pieces of gear that you just upgrade. Having dupes will make your gear have more ranks, which is just pretty cool, and will make you be stronger. And also, you'll see that there's this special system known as rank. It's kind of like a talent tree if you play WoW or anything like that. Very similar to Final Fantasy as well. And as you actually rank up by leveling up, every 5 levels, I believe, yeah, it's kind of like an awakening system from Epic 7. You'll be able to choose one of 2 skills to take. And this will basically be a skill tree that will drastically alter how your character plays. For example, I have Barrel here, which I am using pretty frequently, very powerful unit. You can build her as either a pure damage dealer or a support unit, right? So for the first rank here, I can use this AoE Wall of Flame and choose it. Or I can choose this support skill. Similar up here, I can choose one that will generate more energy, which is very, very good just overall, or an attack buff to everyone, which will be more of a support tree. So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do. Later on at the last rank, you can get healing or you can get this huge AoE damage. So it's very, very important that you actually choose. If you mess up, you can actually not reverse it, but choose the other skill by using this very rare currency used as Castelia, which you definitely want to actually save. So you want to be very careful in how you build your units, but it just allows you to actually, you know, change how you play your units based on what characters you actually pull, which is very fun, right? If I have a lot of damage dealers, I can choose to make my barrel a healer or supporter. If I have like, you know, a lot of healers, I can use her as a pure damage dealer. Or honestly, I can use her as a hybrid if I really wanted to. So a lot of good characters, you know. Yeah, just very fun to use. Even the epics, they see pretty decent usage, I'd say. Some of the epics are very good as well. But overall, I'd say the legendaries are going to be the strongest, like most other gacha games. And yeah, if you guys are wondering about the summoning here, they do give you a lot of currencies to summon at the beginning of the game. You have 3 different banners, and the rates are pretty good, I'd say. 2% for a legendary is very good. The only thing is when you pull on this rate up banner, you have a 50% chance only to get the legendary that is on the banner. And that is very annoying because even if you actually get to pity, which is 180 summons, you might get a different legendary. And all the legendaries honestly are pretty solid, but you kind of want the one that you're pulling for, right? So that is another thing that I don't really like, but a lot of games actually have in their summoning system nowadays. But if you do actually get the pity or the guarantee twice, then you will be guaranteed the unit. So if you miss the first 50-50, the second 50-50 will guarantee you the unit, which is cool. 180 summons is a lot, but the game does give you a ton of summons. I think at the beginning of the game, in the first few days, you can get upwards of like 140, 150 summons just by playing through the campaign and doing the quests, which is pretty crazy. And of course, you do get a lot of summons overall, like monthly and weekly. So yep, that's how the summoning is. You have to be careful though, because we do have these double banners that run, one featuring Beryl and Cole is running right now. And this is the one I pulled on for Beryl. Beryl is by far the best damage dealer right now, and she's pretty future-proof. Cole is very good as well, good assassin. Cole, I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, pretty good assassin. But the thing is, you know, yeah, I wanted Beryl. So the thing is, when you're pulling on these double banners, you'll have a higher chance to get one of them when you pull legendary. So instead of 50%, it's 75, but you're splitting that chance between 2, right? You don't get to choose between the 2. It's just random. So what ends up happening is you have half of 75%, which is 37.5 to get Beryl, 37.5 to get Cole, and then 25% to get a random legendary. So you do have to be careful about these banners because even though you do have a higher chance to get one of the 2, if you're only looking for one out of the 2, then you are in for a bad time because you're more than likely not going to get the unit that you want, right? But this banner is very good because Beryl and Cole are very powerful units. Beryl just slightly edging her out, to be honest. But a banner like this, right? Samantha and also Dandelion. Dandelion is very solid damage dealer, right? Looks pretty badass as well. Samantha is just a healer that kind of gets outshined by other healers. So because of that, when you're pulling on this banner, if you're going for Dandelion, if you do actually end up pulling legendary, first you have to beat that 25% chance you don't get either of them. And then if you do hit that 75% chance, you have to win the 50-50. So it's very, very annoying. You don't get to choose. I wish you were able to. We also have a weapon banner, which is pretty useless because weapons are easily farmable later on in the game. I don't recommend pulling on this ever, to be honest. And then we have a regular banner, which you don't want to pull on either, even though all these characters are available. You definitely want to save for these rate ups because even while you're pulling for these rate up banners, you'll be able to get the less wanted legendaries randomly. So yeah, these are the banners. Summoning currency in the beginning of the game is very, very generous. They give you a ton. A lot of people are concerned about later on, but that's everyone's concern for every gacha game on release. But it seems like the devs are pretty open to criticism, and hopefully they do actually give us more summons in the future, because I do think they want global server, which came out a year after Taiwan server, to catch up. So hopefully they do give us more what's it called, summons. And yeah, there's a lot of things to do, right? We have the regular Fool's Journey, which is the regular story, which if you go in there, it's like this like map thing, which you clear just to progress and unlock things. We have Crossing Worlds, which is like your game modes to actually farm mats and stuff like that. We have like a tower, which is very similar to any other game's tower to get, you know, loot, which will reset every week, I believe. And we have this very, very unique Spiral of Destinies. So this actually doesn't use energy. So if you ever run out of energy, you can use your Key of Destinies, which you get a crap ton of. I've been doing this for so long and I still have 5 left. And each key will give you a ton of content. I think they said just from this Spiral of Destinies, you get like 120 hours of content from the beginning of the game. And you'll see that it's a little bit different than the regular campaign, because it's just completely different, honestly. Because basically you get to choose 3 of your units that you pull to take with you, and the other units you get here you'll have to recruit. It's basically like a roguelike game where you're recruiting characters. For example, here if I go to the tavern, you can recruit like other characters you don't have, right? Like I don't have these 2 characters, but I just purchased them. And for this run, basically, you'll be able to use those characters. You'll have to level them up starting from 1. You can farm these gears, which you have to put on them as well. It's just a way to just play like a completely different game. Not a completely different game, but a completely different spin on the game, which is kind of like a sandbox mode, to be honest. So very, very fun. You know, you get a lot of rewards here as well. It's kind of a way to play the game once you run out of energy, and you can pretty much play for a very, very long time with that game mode. And yeah, gives you a ton of rewards and stuff like that. You know, there's a ton of events going on for newer players because the game just came out. So if you want to, you know, get a good head start, you definitely want to start playing. I've been having a lot of fun with this game. There probably are a lot of mixed reviews about it, especially with like the QOL, with like the AI and the positioning of characters and stuff like that. But I think overall it's definitely worth a try if you like this genre. I'm a big fan of the genre, so I think I'm overlooking some of the flaws. But yeah, definitely a game worth trying. I'm not sponsored by this company or this game, just so you guys know. I've just been genuinely having fun with this game, so I just wanted to show you guys. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you guys are playing this game or you're about to try it out while English is hard. And also, make sure you guys hit that like button to support the channel. I don't know if I'll be releasing more videos on this game just because even though I'm having fun, I'm kind of still unsure if I want to, you know, spend a lot of time on it. So I'll be playing this game a few more days from now and testing it out a bit more. If it, you know, ends up being fun and ends up getting pretty big and the devs seem like they're listening, maybe I'll play this a lot. But for now, just kind of trying it out and wanted to hear what you guys think about it as well.